have been looking forward to making this episode of the podcast. This is me sharing with you my favorite way to stay in touch with people and build out your network, build and deepen those relationships. Now, this came about because what I have found really interesting as I have researched and talked with people about networking is I always thought, and what you hear about the most as the hardest part of networking is, oh, I hate going to events. Oh, meeting people, walking up to strangers is so hard. Turns out that's not true. What people really think when you ask them, what's the hardest part about building a network, about keeping those professional relationships going, it's the following up. It's the keeping in touch. It's the reaching out when you don't need anything, to just have that network going. So following up is the hardest part. And honestly, I get it. We're busy. We have already overcomplicated lives that we keep trying to optimizing, making more efficient, squeezing more into. I have friends who I'm like, I know you're forgetful. You're trying to manage 4 to 5 people's schedules in your family while also exercising, touching grass, doing your meditation, going to church, like all the things. So I get it. Taking the time to follow up with people in your work relationships can be really hard, but that's why this is my favorite tactic. So the way to follow up that I'm sharing today is actually super simple, completely organic, honestly, some of the lowest effort, and yet still totally overlooked. And so let's get into it. Welcome to Creating Opportunities, the podcast for professionals who know that building relationships isn't just a soft skill, it's a career advantage. I'm Cassandra Thompson, and every week we talk about how to better connect in our work lives. Whether you're leading a team, landing a client, or frankly, just feel disconnected in your day-to-day, this podcast is here to help. Okay, so I'm about to share with you my absolute favorite way to keep in touch, both personally and professionally. And it's actually part of my relationship runway, which is the framework I've created that takes a relationship from introduction to being a deeper relationship where you can make asks of each other, help each other, create opportunity for one another. And that is something I teach in my talk, The Second Hello, how we follow up with each other. And so if that's something you're interested in, send a comment below. You can go to the link about having an exploratory call if that's something your team needs, but that I walk through the whole thing. There's a series of touch points, but today we're going to talk about my favorite. So just so you know what's included in this episode, we're going to go over what this touch point is, why people don't do it, why they should do it, and I'm going to give you a bunch of examples of how to use it. So this point is called the positive. If you see something, say something. Now, we're used to that being, right, like, oh no, if you see something bad going on in the world, right, say something, shout out, call the police, etc. Very important. I also could go on a whole side rant about why that's not happening the way it used to, but let's reframe this phrase for a second. I want to see this as, if you see something that reminds you of someone, say something to them. Tell them you were reminded of them. It is the easiest touch point in the world. Why? Because it happens totally organically. You didn't have to schedule time in your calendar. You didn't have to strategically think out, okay, next time, next Friday, I need to reach out to this person. Shoot, what am I gonna say to them? No, this one just, it happens when it happens. It's beautiful. Most of us completely overthink staying in touch, and this one just happens naturally. I do this both in my personal and professional life. You probably do this in your personal life and don't even think about it. You probably have some joke with your friend, like I do, and you send him a message. So for example, my friend, we both love Costco, and there is this guy, I don't know if you've seen him on Instagram, he is rebranding companies. His Cracker Barrel one is brilliant, but the other day he did a new reel on how he would rebrand Costco merchandise. And so I saw that, it made me think of her. I thought she needs to see this too, and I sent it to her. You probably do this with your friends too, right? It's not revolutionary. It's not rocket science. And yet, I'm gonna challenge you. We all need to do this more with people in our professional world. There, you're probably missing it, and we need to stop. There are a couple of issues, though, that I see stand in the way of people taking this on, of deciding, okay, I'm gonna say something to somebody. Number one, I know a lot of people go, oh, but I'm afraid they'll think I'm weird, or like, doesn't that seem strange? It's so funny. We worry so much about what people think of us, and yet we all know, like, oh, I'm supposed to be selfless, I should care more about others. So in this instance, I'm gonna tell you to do that. Don't worry about what they'll think of you. You're just being a caring individual. But here's an example for you. Here's something to help you get over this fear of, oh, won't I look weird? Flip it around. If someone messaged you today that you hadn't talked to in 3 months or 3 years and said, hey, I saw this thing today and it reminded me of you, and they send you a picture of something they saw in a store, are you gonna go, ugh, that is so weird. Why in the world did they think of me? No, you're gonna go, oh my gosh, that's so nice of you. I can even give you an example of this personally. As I was writing this, I went, oh yeah, this happened. This literally happened to me. So a friend from LA, I have not lived there in many, many years. We were close friends at one time. We have grown distant. Life, things happen. She messaged me like a year ago. We hadn't talked in at least 4 years, okay? Maybe 5. A year ago, I get a text message out of the blue. She says, hey, we hired a new teacher at school. She's the principal. She said, we hired a new teacher at school, and I was talking with her and said, hey, you did a really good interview. Like, you gave great interview is how I like to say it. But she said, you did a great job interviewing. I just wanted to compliment you on that. And the new teacher says, oh, well, thanks. I found this girl on YouTube and I watched all her videos and she really helped me formulate my answers. And lo and behold, I was the girl. And so my friend, said, oh, who was the girl? She found out it was me and went, oh my gosh, that's my friend. And so she messaged me this. She sends me a text message saying, hey, this girl said this, it was you, just wanted you to know you're making a difference, blah, blah, blah. How are you doing? And we texted for a couple minutes. Never once did I look at that message and go, why is this person messaging me out of the blue? How dare they? No, I went, thank you so much. I went, oh my gosh, that's so nice to hear. Why would someone not want to hear that? So stop with thinking, oh, they'll think I'm weird or strange. No, they will not. Promise you they will not. Now, that text message example is also a great example of the other issue I see people have. It's been too long. Oh, it's been too long. I can't message them now. Yes, you can. If something reminds you of a person and you text them about it, even if it's been 5 years, they're not going to go, oh wow, this would have been really nice, but unfortunately it's just been too many years that I don't care anymore. No, everybody wants to be thought of. So don't worry if it's been too long. I have a friend that we don't text or message or comment often, but we worked together at one point in time and we had a deep love of Juicy Couture back in the early aughts, mid-aughts. And still to this day, since Juicy still keeps trying to happen, every now and then if I see Juicy Couture in a store, it makes me think of this past coworker friend, and I take a picture and I send it to her and I go, they're still trying to make it happen. And we get a little laugh for a second and then we move on. But she's still in my life because of silly little things like that. And honestly, little pro bonus tip, the see something, say something method is actually the greatest way to reignite a relationship that maybe went dormant that you want to pick back up. Because you writing out of the blue after 5 years and going, hey, sorry, I know we haven't talked in forever, but I'm really looking for new referral partners, or I wanted to see if you had any advice on breaking in at your company or whatever, that is not going to go over well. But after 5 years going, hey, this might seem crazy, but I was watching the Dodger game last night and I remembered you are such a fan. Did you get your season tickets for the year? They're gonna go, oh my gosh, you remembered me? It can spark the relationship back, right? If it's like a little, this is me with my sad metaphor examples, but like if it's a little campfire and it's just some sticks on the ground, that's our little spark to light the flame and have the full campfire going again. Did this work? I wish I was good at editing. I'd put in some animation right here. We'll see what I can do. But see something, say something is the greatest way to reignite a relationship. Now, I'm going to share with you in a minute one more concern that I do understand and a couple of mistakes you don't want to make. But before we do, let's get into some of the natural ways that you can use this. I feel like what I'm going to say is like very obvious, but I've also learned so few people do this that let's just put it out there. So, natural sparks. These are things like a post you saw, a reel, a podcast clip, a YouTube channel, literally anything that reminds you of a person. Professionally, it might be something like industry news that they could use, or a conference talk you sat in, a book you just read, anything that made you think of that person. But also really personal cues. So this is where it's helpful to pay attention in initial conversations, like what's their hometown, what's their favorite sports team or movie, any sort of milestone they shared, those things from earlier conversations that then when you remember them later and bring it back, they're like, oh my gosh, you remembered that about me? Always does well. And I'm gonna be honest, personal always matters more than professional. There is nothing wrong in a professional relationship with doing a see something, say something around something personal that they told you. So if you went to lunch with someone and you talked about sports for part of it and their favorite team, or they told you about their kid and how they're obsessed with soccer right now or whatever, and you remember that later and you bring that up, that is going to go so much farther than, hey, I saw this report and I thought of you. It just is. You can do both. I'm going to give you a professional example in a second. You can totally do both, but just know it is very valid and actually works better in your favor to say the personal thing. And then the key to if you see something, say something is when you think about it, when you see something, we say something right then. That is why this is organic, okay? Do not think of someone and then go, oh, when I get back to my desk later or at the end of the day. It won't happen. And then time will go by and then you'll think about it again the next day and it won't happen. And then time will go by and you're like, it's too late. I don't need to do it. So when you see something, say something in the moment. It's going to take 30 seconds. Take a picture of the thing you saw. I do it a lot when I'm out and about. I see something in a store I think someone would like, or I'm having a coffee I think someone would like, right? Like I have a friend that anytime it's about pumpkin spice lattes, I think of her. I take a picture of the coffee and I send her the text message right then, okay? Don't wait till later. It'll just get pushed down on the calendar. That is the beauty of see something, say something. It takes 30 seconds. You can do it in the moment and you've created a new touch point, or we've reignited a dormant spark. Like, beautiful. So what do messages like that look like? Well, let me tell you about one. About 2 weeks ago, I saw a reel from Bobby Bones. I'll put it right here. We won't watch it because we can't do that. But I saw this reel, and at the end of it, he said something that completely correlated and went along with what another speaker talks about all the time. It's somebody I'm just getting to know. And I saw it and I went, oh, she would love this. All I have to do is hit the share button, right, on Instagram, because we're connected there. And I wrote, wait till the end of the clip. I think you'll love something he says. So I didn't tell her what it was. She had to go watch it, but I needed her to know, like, it's the last 10 seconds. Great. So that's it. That's all I did. And then she wrote back, yes, love that. Thank you for sharing. That's it. Quick little moment. Very conversational. Y'all, don't overthink it. Some of you love to overthink everything. Don't overthink this. Because I really want you to remember, this should be completely organic. And if it's organic, we don't have time to overthink it. We don't have time to schedule it on our calendar later. We just do it. And so going with the idea of it's organic, just do it. Interestingly, that same person that I am just getting to know, you know, we've had like one longer conversation over Zoom. We've commented on each other's stuff. We've sent an email here and there. Well, I sent her that message, and then a week later, I found a resource that I thought would really help her. In this case, she has been looking at doing more on YouTube. That's what our initial conversation that got us together was about. And she'd been trying to find people to follow to kind of research off of and was coming up short. I had kind of come up short for her too. Only found a couple. Well, there was someone new, someone that's kind of starting to blow up that I went, oh, this would be a good person for her to follow. And so I sent her that message. A week after the other one, I went, hey, you know, this is what's been going on. I found this person. I think they'd be good for you to follow. Now, I'm going to be very honest with you. I did have a brief moment where I went, oh, does this look weird that I'm messaging again? Like, does this look too eager? Do I seem too, like, is this going to come off obsessive that I sent something last week and then I'm sending something again this week? Here's where I landed on it. Why would I let my fear of how I come across stop from being helpful? I don't want to hold someone back from getting the help they need. If there's a way I can help them, why would I block that? And so I went, you know what? I'm going to send it. What are the odds that I'm going to think of another thing the next week and keep this going? Very slim. So it's like, okay, so it was 2 weeks in a row. Who cares? Why would I gatekeep something that could truly help this person? So I sent it. So don't try and keep tabs on how often you send things. Now, is it helpful in your CRM, to market that like, yes, I sent this on this day just so that you've stayed in touch with the person? Sure. But don't keep tabs on like, ooh, I've sent this so many times, or ooh, these people I never send anything to, and this person I've done it 5 times. Again, this is just the organic, natural keeping in touch. I will say on the flip side, I wouldn't be sending stuff all the time, or else we could seem a little intrusive, a little over the top, so I wouldn't send something again to this person this week or the next week, like in a row. I probably would wait a second, but I also don't think that's going to come up again. However, there are some mistakes you want to avoid. A quick break to thank the sponsor of today's episode, and that would be me. If you are planning an event and want a speaker who makes networking feel human again, I would love to be there. I'm known for making people laugh and take notes because everything I teach is always action driven. And in my keynotes and workshops, I help people go beyond small talk and business card swaps so they can build real relationships with coworkers and clients and everyone in between. So head to cassthompson.com/speaker, click on my link to book a call, and let's chat. I would love to make your next event a success. Okay, so when you are sending one of these messages, first off, don't dunk on their interests. Make sure you're on the same team. So here's what I mean. I speak a lot to groups on LinkedIn, and inevitably, after the talk, a couple days later, somebody will email me or DM me a LinkedIn meme, a LinkedIn GIF, a funny post, but it's something kind of trashing LinkedIn, right? It's something making jokes about the type of people on LinkedIn or what's wrong with LinkedIn. And they think, haha, I'm being funny about LinkedIn because you talked about wasn't great about it in the talk, whatever. But it just comes off like they're dissing on the thing I love, right? It's like, oh, you think we're connecting, but you're actually kind of insulting me right now. So make sure if it's humor, it's something you're on the same page about, that it's not inadvertently like making fun of the thing they enjoy. So like if somebody, I'm going to talk about pickleball next week too, but if somebody's really into pickleball, I'm not going to make a joke to them. I'm not going to send them a meme about the types of pickleball player, like the stereotypes of pickleball player. They might not find that funny. Next, don't assign work. This is a pure, I saw this, I thought of you. You may add at the end of it a, how are you doing? But it's not a, I would love to get your thoughts on this, or please let me know if this is the kind of thing you still enjoy or whatever. Like we don't assign homework. This is literally a little touch, a little wave. It is staying top of mind and saying, I care about you. And then one that sometimes comes up depending on who you are in your situation is sometimes it's your own content that makes you think of somebody. You got to use that sparingly. So every now and then, if it's totally genuine, I might, once in a blue moon, make something that I go, hey, I made this episode of the podcast, or I have this job search video on my other channel, whatever, and say, because of what you said a couple of weeks ago, it reminded me of this, and so I wanted to send this your way. That's it. But it's normally a free thing. I'm not saying, hey, and here's my paid thing. That then goes into, that's valid, but that goes into like actual sales strategy. This is just keeping in touch. So don't constantly be sending people things that are your own creation, being like, I made this thing and I thought of you. We don't use very sparingly. Now again, the beauty of if you see something, say something as a tactic is it automatically shows you care and thought of the person, but it also keeps you top of mind. And the thing that's cool about it is that oftentimes the see something, say something will lead to, hey, thanks for sending this. How are you doing? And you talk, and I've seen it end up in, we haven't seen each other in a while. Let's get a coffee sometime soon. And then at the coffee, you get to talk more about what you're up to, and you might find ways that they can help you. And you'll also learn more about what they're up to, and you might find ways you can give more to them. But we can't predict the future. So at the very least, this is just a way to start showing people you care about them. So as we wrap up this episode, a couple of last things for you. Number one, I would challenge you, try and find something today that you can connect to a person and reach out. Honestly, one of the most important things about this is getting in the habit of thinking of others. It feels like a wild thing to say, but we lead very selfish lives. I am including myself. I'm not pointing fingers. We lead very selfish lives. So as you're going through your day, start trying to think about who else would like this thing I'm doing? Who else likes the coffee I'm drinking? Who else loves this content creator on Instagram or YouTube? Could I send them something? Start trying to keep others top of mind. And then when you think of someone, send it. Send the DM, send the note, send the email, send the GIF. I don't care. Send whatever it is. Say, hey, saw this, thought of you. How are you doing? That's all we gotta do. And then when you do it, come back, leave a comment, tell me what happened. I wanna hear how it went. In fact, I can see this over the years. This video can be a place where we can start collecting all the motivation of why you should use this tactic, because we'll see how it worked for other people. So come back anytime and leave your story. And if you are watching this and going, wow, my team could really use this and we probably could use the whole relationship runway, I'd love to learn more about that. Well, let's have an exploratory call. I would love to hear what's going on with you and your team or your company or the event you're putting on. You can grab the link to chat with me in the box below if you're interested in maybe having me come in and speak to your group. I would love to do that. And if you want to know the easiest, always on the calendar way to stay in touch with someone at least once a year, well, you can go watch the videos over here. I've started creating a playlist of the easiest ways to keep in touch. You can watch them here. Thank you for tuning into the Creating Opportunities podcast. If you found this valuable, please hit subscribe wherever you're listening, and it would really help us out if you leave a quick review on Spotify or Apple Podcasts. And if you are watching this on YouTube, hi to my YouTube folks, please like and comment below. I do read every one, and it's small things like that that make a big difference in getting this show out there to more people who want to have better relationships in their work lives. So thank you for that, and I'll see you in the next one.